Hey, what's up there? So I just wanted to share this real quick video. If you have an Etsy store, how to absolutely blow it up using Whop Content Rewards. Because we all know that Etsy is a very competitive platform. So there's so many sellers. So the only way to stand out is by good marketing. Now, good marketing is very, very hard to say. It's a very broad term. But essentially, I would argue that a good marketing is when a lot of people are talking about your brand. Because you can, of course, rely on paid ads, but we all know the paid ads is rarely profitable these days because there's so many people using it, and it's just really expensive. We're paying upwards of $10 to $15 for 1,000 views. But if you were to instead click the script and let's say, okay, I'm going to get my costs down and better results, then I would use Whop Content Rewards. Because Whop Content Rewards, it's essentially paid ads, but a lot better. Because you see, you know that organic marketing is very effective, but it's very time consuming. You know that paid ads is also effective, but it's very, very, the trust isn't there. As well as it's very expensive. You're paying $10 to $15 for 1,000 views. So what I would do instead is I would use Whop Content Rewards because it's the perfect middle ground of paid ads and organic marketing. Where you see, instead of relying on those platforms to push out your content, you're opening up an opportunity for creators that you either select or worldwide to take part of your content reward to promote your Etsy store. Now, this would mean that you're paying them $1 to $2 per 1,000 views, which is 10 times as cheap as paid ads. And the views are a lot more valuable because instead of relying on these platforms saying that this is an advert, you're actually having creators talk about your brand. So this is like, I don't know, influencer marketing on steroids because you're paying a lot less and you're getting a lot better results. So this all means that you're going to be getting a lot cheaper costs, and the results are going to be, I would argue, probably 10 times as high if you're using content rewards instead, because you'll be having an army of creators that are taking part of your content reward, talking and promoting your brand, and all because of that you chose this instead of paid ads. So to actually set this up, because this of course sounds good, then I would do the following. Okay, so now when you have your understanding of what content rewards is and the benefits for your business, now the question becomes, how do I create one? Because you of course want to actually take part of this opportunity as well and not just talk about it. So how you would do that, it's 3 simple steps. First, you'll go to whop.com and you'll create an account. This you can do with your eyes closed at this point. It'll take you 1 minute, maybe 2 if you're unlucky. I signed up with Google, it's that easy. Then secondly, you want to go to whop.new, or if you go to whop.com/new, you'll be redirected to the same page. But I go to whop.new, and then you'll be taken to this page. We're going to create a Whop. Now, a Whop, that's essentially a community that will be hosting your content reward for your business. Now, this community, you can invite people to take part of this content reward, or you can keep it open to everyone so everyone can take part of this content reward. And how you do this is a simple 3-step process. Just click create a new organization, click continue. Title is what you want it to be. So in this case, I'll just title it Linus, because well, it's my name, but you can of course title it something more appropriate for your business. Then you'll click continue, and then you'll just write a quick description about your business. Now I'll just spam something because I'm not actually going to create this myself right now because I'm just showing you how you would do this. And then you just choose a link and then you would click continue. Now, once that's done, then 5 seconds later, you'll be taken into a Whop. And now this is now the community that you have created. And as you can see, if you go to this link, you now have your Whop. And now in this Whop, you can create content rewards. But I recommend you maybe spend 5 minutes just to make it a little bit prettier because as you can see right now, it's completely empty. And you could perhaps make it maybe more aesthetically pleasing. But this is not something you have to do. This is just something that, well, maybe you'd like to do so. Then afterwards, you head to the Discover page on the left-hand side. Once on the left-hand side and you click Discover, you'll head to the content reward sections and click on the plus sign. Now here, you'll choose the Whop you just created. Or if you don't have the option to choose one, then you only have one. And now you'll just enter in all the information here, such as the title of the content reward, the content type you want them to produce, if it's clipping, i.e. repurposing your already existing content, or if it's UGC and they're creating brand new content. You'll choose the category, your budget, the end date if you have one, the reward, which is what you're paying to the creators for 1,000 views, the minimum and the max payout, a bonus, as well as all the requirements. The requirements section is what I think is most important because you'll have to specify there what you're looking for. As in, let's say if you want a call to action in the video to your website or your product or whatever the case is, then you'll have a call to action there. that you gotta add as a requirement for the creators to add. If you want the audience to be a certain demographic, if you want the creators to be a certain demographic, if you want a certain sound to be used, if you, well, whatever it could be, if you want someone to tag you, if you want them to have a link in bio or whatever the case is, then you'll add this in the requirements, because we need to be clear so the creators know what to produce and you know what to expect. And then after, you'll just click continue, you'll top up this content reward, and then it's live. And now it's at your choice if you want to keep this content reward open to everyone and have an open Whop, which is hosting the content reward, or if you want to keep this closed to only a select few creators that you invite yourself, then you can also do that. And then the creators will just find this content reward, submit their content, and then it's up to you to go through the content they have submitted, approve what you think is correct, disapprove what you don't think is correct, and they'll get paid for everything that you approve. So that way you also know that so no one won't steal your budget because you're in complete control. And this is exactly how I would do it, and this is how it can completely blow up your business. And I recommend you really get on this as soon as you can. And if you have any questions whatsoever, then just drop them down below, and I'll get back to every single one of them. And with that said, thank you very much. I really hope you implement this as soon as possible, and have a really good day.